Hi, this is me, I Get Real, and I'm really tired. It is 10:33, and I have an hour to decide if I'm going to a meeting. I don't feel right. I don't know what to say. Um, I have a weekend job, and then I work two of my businesses on a daily basis. It could be anywhere from like 5 minutes, um, like actual physical work, but that's rare to like 6 hours, or more. I'm really unmotivated. So the jobs that take the most work, they all take the most work. And the one on my weekend job, I show up, I get paid. I know I get paid. My businesses, I lose money. I have yet to earn any money. It was really intimidating to be in that situation. Today's the 18th. This is me, I Get Real. I had the closet open, but it's like really messy. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. And as I had made drafts for books and stuff, I was trying to, actually, I see one of my books getting torn to pieces. I had actually, wanted to do more. I need to take some pictures. Anyways, the rains came back in Oregon, and today's Monday. The, I don't know if it was Friday, Thursday, something last week. Eagle Creek fire that was, I think, started, as far as we know, it started by firecrackers. I tried to say smoke bomb, which seems weird. I went out the day after 4th of July, and my car was covered with, burn holes from fireworks, and I was so mad. Like, these people, like, they should pay me $4,000 to get my car painted. Like, it's just like, I said, I'm going to go to work the next day or something. I'm like, you know what? These fools let their kids do this. I'm like, I'm grateful that my car is not burnt down in ashes, and it sucks to think like that. And these people have their houses burned down in the gorge. And I made decisions when I was a kid. I've flicked, probably, I don't remember, but I probably had flicked, in the 80s or 90s cigarette butts out the window. I don't know if I did or not. I mean, it wasn't as common to do that in the 90s because most cars had ashtrays. Like, all cars had ashtrays and cigarette lighters back then. Um, I didn't know in the old days that you're supposed to pick up dog poop afterwards. I didn't know until I came to California. This is when they said no. They said no throwing cigarette butts out your window because the hills and outside of Malibu Beach were, fire prone to fires. Dry, hot California. So when it was after I got married. So it was 98. It was the first time I saw a sign that's like, don't throw cigarette butts out the window or other combustibles because of fire danger. And I was like, oh wow. In Michigan we had rains and water and rivers and wetness everywhere. And there were trees that were in the sand. Everything was in the sand where I grew up. And this was grass, dandelions, everything grew. And we had what was called jack pines. And my mom always complained about jack pines. But the interesting thing about jack pines is, unlike other pine trees that have babies all the time, conifers, evergreens, or any other type of tree, the jack pine only, I don't know, I can't remember, I haven't been in Michigan in a long time, but basically its cone with the seeds only opens in like 2,000 or 3,000 degrees. So the only time the jack pine grows is when there's a forest fire. Literally. Like, I mean, I don't, like, you can't just be like, oh, let's get some pine cones and we'll collect them and plant them in our yard. So my mom would always complain about how much she hated jack pines and how our woods were Probably in jack pine. And they would grow slow, straight up. So they weren't as distinguished as a white pine or a cedar tree, you know, or I don't remember that type of pine. Um, what's a cypress? Is that like from Florida or something? Anyways, they weren't as like, oh, like people would purposely go to a nursery to buy a white pine or a red pine or a cedar tree to plant in their yard. The woods are wild, and so all these trees were everywhere. So you had entire forests of these jack pines, and when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, and then you had a few deciduous trees in the woods that were probably big and old and tall. If you're out in the woods, all I remember, because I had a big fear of spiders, was going through and seeing spiders and spider webs. And I think we got them later, but the first time I saw them was a Girl Scout camp way far away with the tent moths. Those scared the crap out of me. And they'll pinch you or something. They land on you. Like big fuzzy caterpillar moth caterpillars. Or worms or whatever. I don't know what moth caterpillars are called. Caterpillars. And they were brown and white, and it's like my headband that I had. I'm thinking about 20 years. 25, 30 years. Because I was in Girl Scouts. They would start out black, I think. And they would hatch from... As a Girl Scout, we'd wake up with the sun up there, or the light to the tent, and we would see worms all over the top of our tent. And this is it's an invasive species. And you go outside and you'll see these webbings of like these, like a spider web, but like white webbings where they hatched out, and the little worms are going all around. You know how like a spider, like they start coming out all at the same time. And then it's really hard for me to remember. They would end up on our tents. And so the day before they weren't there, but then we would see them like, oh my god, tent moths, tent worms. And I forget what the moths look like. And I've been in Oregon since 01. So I remember them, and my brother took me somewhere in the 90s in Oscoda. Because we were at Girl Scout camp, who knows, hours away from home. And I was sitting in the backyard, and something pinched my back, and I went like that, and I was like, there was like tent moths, kind of like how spiders drop off webs. Like, oh my god, that thing freaking bit me. I was like so scared. And then I think later on, I started seeing them in our woods. And then about 3 years later, within the past decade, I went to Oscoda and I saw that zebra mussels had invaded Lake Huron and the lake I grew up on, which is Van Etten. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I have some of those shells. As a child, the guy who lets the water in and out of the dam, in the winter in the fall he lets the water out of the lake so that you can get your boats and your docks out. Or I guess you want to get your boat out before that happens so your boat's not sitting on dry ground. You get your boat out of the water, go to a boat ramp, put it in, wrap it up for the winter, and then he lets the water out, and then you pull your dock out. So basically, the dock is in the sand, and I know people call it different things. I called it a beach. They said in class that's not a beach because we're not on the ocean. I called it a beach because there was sand and there was water, and it was pretty, and there was ducks and seagulls and herons. And you had, I guess, yeah, you had the short poles. Everything in the old days was like pipe, like steel colored. I don't know about steel, but that metal, that steel colored pipe, like the same color as the spoon. I'm like trying to see it in the reflection, that color, and I don't think it rusted. So you had a I think this is how it was. You had two holes in the top, and it was a hollow. So you had the short ones closer to the house, and as the water supposedly gets deeper when there's actually water, these ones get longer, so that your dock's even, because you don't want to, like, this way or this way. You would take these thingies. I only was outside once or twice. My dad put the dock out, and I think you put a pipe in the middle, and so the bottom is like a screw, a corkscrew, or whatever, and you turn it so it digs a hole. I can't turn my hand all the way around. It digs a hole in the sand, bloop, 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 all the way up from the edge of the yard to however long your dock is. You kind of had to estimate, I guess. And then you would go and put it together. I don't know. Lincoln Logs, like Legos. I think you must have had some cross that went between. I think it went on top, and you tighten those bolts, something like that, so that you have these going horizontal, and then you're able to put the dock on top and attach that somehow. I don't know. This is really, really a long time ago. When I was a kid, a really little kid, when I was a moderate age kid, I would play down the street with the neighbors, so everything was already done by the time, like, I mean, because you're in school and stuff, like, everything seemed to be done, and you just, like, as a kid, you, like, wake up, and breakfast is made, like, you don't really think too much, like, oh, this is what happens every season, this is what happens every year, this is what happens once a year, and then, some people, we never had this, they have the big, I used to watch Flipper as a kid, and them being in Florida, I can really, really, I would love to get a flipper. Like, animals downstairs, I like having you, but we should get a dolphin, which means we have to go somewhere where there's salt water. Like, my animals would be like, even though my son wants a snake, like, oh shoot, oh yeah, that'd be another mammal. Anyways, the dolphin. Anyway, I love Flipper. I could relate. I think we have a Flipper movie. I could relate with the fella in the TV show, sorry. Even though it was the ocean or Florida. I think he was in Florida, I don't even know. I could relate with him being in the water all the time, right, driving in boats. Like, I don't know. I don't remember the show. I was in the water so much as a kid, and I was in boats. I feel like I'm a water baby living on dry land, and it's really, really hard when you know that you need money to be able to either live on a lake or river, or if you have friends that will invite you over, that's good too for you. But to have access, if you don't live there, then you can go to the ocean or to a beach house on a lake or something, a cabin on a river, and dunk yourself in the water if you're like me and you love that. And being super poor, I don't even have the ability to go to a pool for the afternoon and splash around in the water. And it's very, very heartbreaking. Like, I'm grateful that as a kid I got to swim every day during the summer season and, like, play on the ice during the winter, and during the fall, the cold months, go fishing every day whenever I want it, whether it's once a year, once a day, twice a day. I hate that you can't do what you want because of severe poverty. The town I grew up, it was such a beach town that it didn't matter your income level. Lots of houses were on some body of water or walking distance of a body of water with public access. I miss that. I miss hearing the waves. Because of car accident injuries and my laziness, because I don't want to do stuff by myself, and the difficulty in driving, I am sad because, like, once a year we used to go to Willamette. When it rains, they supposedly fixed it. When it rains, the water goes into the Willamette, or the sewer goes into the Willamette. The red water goes in the sewer downtown Chinatown, going into the Willamette, and they overflow. Where I live, all summer, for some reason, the water was going to creeks, or the sewer was overflowing. In the beginning of the summer, it was going up into the street and down, so they had to shut the sidewalk and the bike lanes down. I had to fix this book. But I miss, like, my sound machine. I'm, like, gonna start crying. My sound machine it's on the ocean. It's, like, even when I was in college and I had student loans and I had relatives helping us, like, oh, yeah, you deserve to go to the beach. I can't fix it. Everything's gonna fall. And it's, like, my daughter's an artist in this picture here. It's good. It's one of her first paintings when she was a little kid from a art class, and she had the water. She's an excellent artist. The sky, perfect. The land, perfect. In my eyes. The water, I don't like to criticize, but I didn't criticize her once on a writing paper, and the teacher gave her a really bad grade. And she was like in 6th or 7th grade, and teacher was like, I grade on 11th grade level. I was like, and I didn't want her to feel bad by saying, like, I picked out all these things that I thought were wrong. And I said, there's a few things, but they're not a big deal for somebody who's like 11, or like 10 years old, or 12 or something. And I said, you're a great artist, and you see stuff, and you see nature, and you see people, and you can do profiles, and you can do dimensions of heads by looking in my medical books and all this stuff. And I said, after seeing this picture, I said, honey, we need to go to the beach, and we need to get ocean, or partial view of the ocean. You need to go out where they have the screen doors with the plastic chairs, and you need to wake up, and you need to look at it in the morning, you need to look at it at night, and you need to look at it in the afternoon, and see it with the sun, with the moon, whatever's out, whatever orb is up in the sky. And after that, all her water pictures came to life. And it's different when they're little, you go to the beach and you play, and then next time you go, they're older, they don't want to do it. They barely go to the beach once or twice. Then they get older, they go to the beach once. When you get there, that's it. And it's like they don't see the water, they don't care. They're on the machines. And that's what happens. And part of me is like, even if I had money in my bank account, I feel like I wish I could drive to the beach. I don't think I can handle the drive. I wish I could go across the river and go to Selwood Park, throw a blanket down and read a book and watch those waves. Because the Willamette River is reminiscent of the lake I grew up on, and as far as the distance between one side and the other. And I'm sitting here like a poor me, poor me, and having to be grateful for what I had. But living in severe poverty is extremely difficult, and it's extremely, I don't know how to say it, like, I don't know how to claw myself out of this predicament. I don't know, like, going to school, working, applying for a bunch of jobs, working multiple jobs, 7 days a week, working 2, 3, 4 jobs a day, doing whatever advertising I could do for free, and then having safety issues, which is why I was not on YouTube for a while. I think staying connected with the world, basically. It helps you, for me, reminds me that I am a human, and that I have the desire to work and get paid for my work and pay my taxes and and pay my rent and my bills in a timely manner. That's my goal in life, and I struggle to do the basics. I have, since I lost that other job that I had, I've considered, I can't afford to live in a trailer park. I considered getting a free trailer and plopping it somewhere for half the rent of this place, or purchasing land and getting a free trailer. I didn't even care if it had holes in it, like throwing a tent and a trailer on some property, and I'm like, oh my god, there's gonna be mice in our house, and spiders. snakes. Like, I'm so scared. And the kids are gonna be like, why did you buy this dilapidated piece of junk? And it's like, because there's more space to store our stuff and our food and our animals than there would be if we were living out of our car. And as a person who went to school to become a physician and who has all this job experience yet can't get a job that pays a living wage, and even the combination doesn't pay. Every kid I know, 16 to 20 something, makes more money than I do, and I can't figure out how to even get the jobs that they have. And I feel like I can't even function. Like, I feel like my body is really suffering and everything. And every day I wake up and I can't get up to use the bathroom to start my day, which I used to be able to do a lot of work. I used to sit there like, man, I really gotta pee. Man, we gotta be somewhere soon. And my body doesn't work. And that car accident was a very big life changer. And it reminded me of the reality of how delicate your life is. And it reminded me of how I had no friends. Even at the time I thought I had friends, it reminded me that it made me realize, sometimes you realize something in your heart. And you're just like, I'm just overthinking. I'm tired. I haven't eaten yet. It came that you're not tripping, dude. You don't have any friends. You don't have anyone that cares except for your kids. So I can put on my gratitude list the kids and the rabbit. We had gotten a rabbit right before the accident. I think like days, or no, I think it was at least a week or two. I was reading this article today, and again, I'm sorry, I forgot who wrote it. Basically, what I got from it, and I'm not going to try to paraphrase this, I should write on sticky notes who these people are. They were talking about being alone. I was like, how to enjoy life alone. And they're like, it's your choice that you're alone. You could choose to be around other people. And I was like, are you kidding me? I have no choice. There is not one person I can think of. And then I was like fuming mad because I've been making videos all month about I can't force someone to date me. I can't force anyone to be my friend. And I read on, and they said, oh, you value yourself as a person and you won't just hang out with anyone. So then it got me thinking, oh yeah, that lady across the street was always like, come over, let's hang out, let's go to coffee, let's go to the place Sherry's at 2:30 in the morning because I never work and this and this and this, like, whatever. Like, no, we're leaving tomorrow at 7 a.m. Or there was, well, most of last summer I was actually leaving my house at 6 a.m. to go to meetings 7 days a week. I was also going to a chiropractor. My body worked. When I went to chiropractor, my body worked. I could do that. Now I can't even move. I'm awake, but I'm not moving. I'm tired. I live at a highway exit, so the cars wake me up. And I'm cupped up at night. I'm really tired right now, in fact. And what happened is I can't go to a chiropractor anymore the first time since the accident, I've gone this long. And I'm miserable. My body's not working. And the independent medical examiner tried to be like, oh, it's only going to palliate her symptoms. I was like, heck yeah, go ahead and palliate. And it's like, I am having a 50 out of 10 pain. You fool, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I hope to God that freaking lying jerk does not have the symptoms that I have. Like, sometimes you feel like you don't want to be like, oh my God, I could, like, You think, oh my God, I could have died, thank God I'm alive. But sometimes you feel like the pain is so intense. Like right now, right here, it's like so intense. It's like super warm too. It's like you feel like that pain is gonna kill you. You feel like every single day since I was in this accident, you feel like the pain is gonna kill. Like it's so intense. Like I had 2 natural childbirths, and you're like, it's so intense. You don't even have time to think about how intense it is. But the pain is so bad that you're like, you feel like your body is just gonna like flop over, like keel over, literally. Because it's like, you feel like your brain cannot handle it. It's just gonna shut down, or your heart is gonna just like have a heart attack because you can't handle it. And 3 years goes by, and you try to be normal as you could be, grateful for what you have, and you're still like stuck. For me, I'm talking about myself in this struggle of life and poverty and single parenting. And I had court ordered child support. I received not a penny. My kids suffered. We're at the point, stuff is expensive. We used to be able to wear our socks through and keep wearing them a little bit until we got tired of it. See sock sale and buy socks. Now I understand that I don't want to be wasteful or waste money, but now it's like I sew them up. I don't know what to do about the heels, but it's like for the past about 8 years, 8 or 9 years, I prayed. My friend was a single mom and she worked jobs, uneducated, again, made a lot more money than me. And she got laid off a lot of jobs too, and she lived without housing subsidy in a different county though, so I don't know what her rent was. But she made plenty of money and got child support. She wasn't rich, but she made plenty of money to pay the rent, even if it meant having the child support to support her. And she um, would say, one thing I do on Black Friday is I go to Fred Meyer and get socks for the kids. She had 3 boys. She was mostly, when I knew her, had 2 boys at home. The other one, I don't know. He was grown or something. And every Black Friday, I don't even have like a dime. It's like I couldn't get the Eclipse goggles. I had a $14 coupon for Fred Meyer. I was do the double rewards, this and that, do the survey, earn fuel points. Like I was trying to do all this stuff to try to earn the rewards. And I said, I can't afford even one pair for $1.99. And I used the coupon to buy toilet paper. You can't wipe, well, you could wipe your butt with Eclipse goggles, but by the time I went through, sometimes I go through the drawers looking for pocket change. By the time I pulled together some change, they were all sold out, every store in town. I heard the day of that I could have gone down to Tiger and gotten a pair if I you stand in line. Some people got a pair, but I was like, my little boy was sad. He wanted his glasses. He wanted to go to Salem. All this stuff, and me and Ella had to work. And so, if you can't even afford toilet paper without a coupon, that's like it's basically a rebate coupon, kind of like how you get Kohl's Cash. And it's like, I hated how my relatives told me you waste your lifetime and money going to medical school, so you could sit around and not work as a doctor. But it's like, I don't know. When the money fell through to start the business, I had wanted to start the business the way our business teachers told us. Hit the ground running. They had combined, 50 years. You know how people say, combined teaching, 50 years between the two of us, blah, 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 help people in North America, Canada, U.S., blah, blah, blah. And they would they wouldn't stay, like, say they both had 25 years experience. They wouldn't do the same thing they did 25 years ago. They wouldn't do the same thing they did 3 years ago. They wouldn't do the same thing they did a year ago. And that's what I like. They said they very much emphasize these are the basics that have stayed consistent over the years, was starting your business with some money in the bank, cash at hand, board exams, licensing fees, DEA license, all that stuff. And then they went on to say, yeah, that was like the number one reason. I mean, besides not passing your boards, pass your boards, have the money in the bank, which you need to plan before, whether it's a relative, whether you borrow money, whether you have money, whether you sell property, who cares? Anything. That day you get your pass your board exam and they send you your license. Boom. And they already tell you to get your clinic space and everything beforehand, which people did. People that I know, there's one person I know that did that. They were making $10,000 a month as a physician. They could focus all of their time on that. Not saying it's easy to sit and do the charting and the billing and order medication and do this and do this and do this and advertise. But it's all of that stuff I just said. I'll take 10 grand a month gross for that, or even net. Or I'll take that, because your student loans is already going to take like 7,000 of that. Like literally, like my loans, if I had hit the ground running when I graduated, they would have taken about 3,000 to 4,000 a month. I would have had to pay taxes, and then I would have been able to pay for my housing, buy food, buy toilet paper, buy stupid goggles, and not even care that the kids didn't pay child support, and that I could go to freaking Fred Meyer and not even worry about splurging, but I would have been able to get my Black Friday computer that actually works. I can run my business. I didn't have a computer the first year I was in business as a doctor. You guys try to open a medical business, try to credential with insurance, try to open electronic health records and electronic billing without a computer. Try doing that. Maybe your cell phone's better than mine. I did everything I could for my cell phone at the time, and now my cell phones. I had the oldest models, and they were super. They don't always work. They don't always work. I can't answer phone calls. I miss phone calls. I don't get texts, and a lot of times it says the operating system is not working. You print from here. I printed things with credentialing stuff. I had to fax legal documents, all blurry from here. It's just like, and then I had to buy the ink, the printer. But these people did what the business people. So the business is like, this is a standard that has been consistent over 30 years. This is the change. Technology, Twitter, Facebook group, or Facebook stuff. This. Like, they're going to say keep up with the times. They're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about saturated market. They're going to talk about your loan. Your loans are a lot more than people 30 years ago. Oh, how much student loan debt you have? Oh, I have 13,000. Oh, 13,000. Well, I have 1,300,000. What? It was like, my daughter's like, Mom, didn't you have around a quarter million, like 200,000 when you graduated? Like, yeah. Like, why is it 500,000 now? Interest. So that's where I am with that. I'm not very happy right now. This is not. I'm cold too. This is not a very constructive argument. Um. So the forest fires, when you see people having to be out of their house, being in shelters, living in RVs. I don't know if other people had owned these RVs that were living in these parking lots, and people were in schools that had to be relocated because colleges and stuff are starting now. And then people in Florida and Texas having their whole house ruined, and they're in own it and have insurance. Insurance won't pay what it's really worth, and having to shack up with their kids or with another shelter. Or these people are going from shelter to shelter, and they were full in Florida and all this stuff. So I'm just trying to put it in perspective. Like, I feel like I try to get mad at God to say, why did I end up in this? And then I say, no, God isn't wrong. There's got to be something. I'm waiting for the mail to come. Your package. And you, you end up with, like, how do you say, like, no, it's not God. I'm the one who ended up, in this pit of hell that I created, with the homelessness and everything went coming from fleeing abusers when I was 17 led to thinking that I was going to be this educated working person, and it turned in at the time where people in my demographic at school and at the graduation level, they were probably already getting jobs. They were probably getting ready to go home to their parents and rest up in the summer and start their new jobs and have this family support, parties, congratulations, you graduated from, your bachelor degree. Mine, the week and 2 weeks after I was supposed to graduate, ended up in homelessness for the first time. And that was in May of 1998. And ever since then, I have felt like I'm in hell. But because I have other people's trash in a wealthy nation and in a wealthy, like, in my neighborhood, people think that the immigrants are really poor. They, so I get a lot of their trash, and they they get a lot of stuff that is disposable. Um, like the toilet paper for me, paper towels, which I keep that in, even though that's expensive thing. Baggies and stuff. I found that it kept things cleaner than they would be, and that food stayed fresher longer. And I'll recycle bags and stuff too, and I'll recycle paper towels for that matter. But I found it better to do that, and it also saves clothes when I actually put those. I don't use napkins, put those. I have cloth napkins and stuff that I put in my lap, but I found that it probably saves a few things. I have a really bad headache right now. I'm sorry. I have a really bad headache. Electronics, cell phones, TVs, computers, clothing in my neighborhood, because their rent is really low and their income is really high and they have multiple adults bringing in income there, and they get all of the subsidies that I don't get, all of the free clothes, all the free food, all of the free whatever you want, free energy, free heat, free electricity. So in my neighborhood, everything is very disposable. Toys for kids. Like, my thing is like, oh my god, we gotta take good care of this. Oh my god, we got a hold of this somehow. I had to beg somebody for. I had insurance on my phone, and they still charged me $800 for Samsung S2 that stopped working. My Samsung Galaxy, they were trying to threaten me. I should have canceled the whole T-Mobile thing. They tried to threaten me like $800 fees because they had not received the phone yet that I was paying for and I was insuring, that I owned, I paid for in the first place. When that AT&T, or I think it was AT&T and T-Mobile deal fell through, before T-Mobile was very helpful, very helpful. Oh man, let me help you with this. Afterwards, and they'll have all these foreign people, and I have offense with it, but they can't understand. They have this script. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, it says here on your account. Can you please hold? Oh, okay. And you don't get anything. You could ask them, what's my phone number? And you could be on the phone for an hour and a half. Like, excuse me, let me put you on hold. Okay, excuse me. Oh, yes, ma'am, thank you. And then if you say, just give me my freaking phone number, like, I'm just using an example, it's simplest thing. Like, I called from the phone, look at your caller ID. And you're like, they'll put, like, a white American male or female on the phone that has a direct voice. Excuse me, do you have a problem? All right, let me have your credit card number. All right, well, yeah, we're going to remedy this. No, we just have to have this in the system. And then they'll lie through their teeth with this American voice. And then the next thing you knew, you got all these stupid charges on your credit card And you'll say, oh, yeah, you agreed to have this free replacement phone shipped to you and blah, 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 free shipping. Yes, we know there's a problem. You had insured, blah, 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 blah. And then you see like $300 charges on your credit card and you're like, I had this happen and you're like, are you freaking kidding me? And when you have your kids on off the bus and you have people like me on call for bursts or being alone day and night driving by myself, it's really hard. This is their trick. This is their way. It's really hard for me to go and get a plan with another service and cut my plan off if I want my phone number, or it's really hard for me to say, well, who cares? I'll go without a phone or something for a few days. And they know that. And it sucks that, like, if they want to tell me they're going to charge me $59 shipping and handling, then just say it. Just say it. Like, if I had used a debit card or something, you overdraw someone's account. Like they had lied to their teeth so many times. And the only thing I can do about it, being working 7 days a week, is sit on hold for hours and wait and wait and wait, be transferred and be hung up on and have to recall again and this and this and this. And they're like, oh, we don't have any record in the computer that you made that phone call. We don't have anything. And what they do is they'll say, oh, yeah, we're going to give you this free phone and free shipping and this and this and this. And it's just company policy to get your credit card number. And they'll say, we'll take you to an automatic system. And please agree to the terms and conditions of what I just stated. And then you get a thing. I got a thing in there. Please state your name as a, wearable signature. You agree to terms and conditions that your customer service rep says, yes, my name is blah, 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 and I agree to terms and conditions. And then it takes you back to customer service like, oh, by the way, it's not free. It's going to be $199. I don't want it. Oh, you already said you wanted it. And you're like, oh my god, you freaking were using me to get your quota for the day or for the month. And I don't have a disposable $199 is $59 shipping. And I think you could try to do, what is that? Not buyer's remorse, but where you feel like you're pressured into sales. You're supposed to have so many hours. What am I going to do if I can't afford this stupid $260? I gotta hire a lawyer and say, now I need to break this contract. I gotta hire you and do this before 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon or whatever. And I've bent over backwards in my company to help people and not be like that. Because I said, I'm angry. It sucks my energy. I don't have the money. My dreams are going down the toilet. So it's like when my money is getting sucked, it's like a vampire. When my blood's getting sucked from my body, you're getting it in yours. So my money is draining out of my bank account. They're getting it in theirs. And it sucks. Because you're left dead, basically, in severe poverty. Because someone is milking you for all you can get. So my business model, I try to be cordial, offer it's kind of invisible satisfaction, customer satisfaction, and all this stuff. And then you give an inch, they take a mile. And that's the thing, too. Then you got some shady people that try to use you and say they're going to pay you. Oh, the check is in the mail, this. And then you're just like, oh. So it becomes one of those things. I'm going to stop and pray because I got myself in a craze. And it's 11:17. I could go to my meeting. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. I felt like I should stay here because I have a class until late tonight, a CPR class, and I have to drive out of the city to go to it. So I'm pretty nervous about that. It's during rush hour as well. I did take the online portion, thank God, because I would be definitely cramming right now. I need probably, according to my one of my websites, and I haven't counted up hours outside of there, it can't be more than 10 or maybe even 5 of CE. I probably need at least 40 hours of CE for my medical license. That needs to be, I prefer to have it done by the beginning, like by November 1st. So if that's September, October, so let's not even count. Let's count September, but let's say October. That's 1 month. Let's say 1 month and 1 week. So 5 weeks, and I need 40 hours. Let's just say 4 weeks. I have 4 weeks. I mean, technically I probably have 8, but let's just say 4 weeks, 10 hours a week. So that's like between 1 and 2 hours a day. That's a lot. Because I've been doing a lot that are 15 minutes at a time. So I need 1 to 2 hours a day. If I say 8 weeks, which is now until the second week of November, approximately, yeah, that would still be an hour a day roughly. And if I do through Medscape 15 minutes at a time, that's 4 a day. If you do 15 minutes, you watch a video 15 minutes, reading for 15 minutes, then they want you to answer the questions, then they want you to do the evaluation, and then you got to figure out, like, are you going to say or print. So I'm going to pray. I don't want to push stop on the recorder. I'm having a very, very difficult time. There's nothing in the news. The newspaper has been, in my city, has been the same online all week. I found out I got the wrong Hobbit. I watched the middle one in a series of 3. I'm like, oh, great. So I was trying to log in the computer before I recorded this. I was going to read my notes for one of my business classes. Let's see, is this business or is this... This is all blank. Oh, this is for my actual clinic. Okay, that's really important. I was wondering what happened to this. It's right here in front of my face. I'm gonna go and listen to God. I was listening to a song at the end of this Hobbit movie, Desolation of Smog. It was a good song. But our chair got all moldy outside. I left out in the rain, so I have an opportunity to hose it down. I really want to go to the meeting because I need to be around others. I'm feeling very uncomfortable with myself in my own skin. And I really think that I should go tomorrow, and then Wednesday hospital, Thursday meet with my son's teacher, Friday. I only work my weekend job Saturday, and then Sunday, and I have appointments I think all day tomorrow. If I can get I gotta do a bunch of homework, and these people are like, why don't you clean your house? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's like, because I'm sitting at home, like, just because I sat at your house for an hour or sat in my office to do an office visit, I don't just go home and say, now it's time to cook and clean. You know, it's like I have to do so much work, treatment plan, medication, management, all of this stuff. Like, oh, we don't know how to find a doctor. Just call the number. We don't know how to. Here's the phone number. We lost the paper. And so then I'm sitting on the phone for 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this phone call. This research. On the phone, on the computer, do this, do that. And these people are like, why are you on the phone for these people? Oh, because they claim they don't understand English. Because they claim the one that speaks English doesn't know how to do anything. That's an adult raised in this country. Like, and so that's why I said take it.